Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Fright Friday right here on Night Owl Video. Today we are talking about the Babadook. I just picked this up actually yesterday, I think, and I watched it last night, and I'm doing a review today. This is one I've been looking for when I've been thrifting, but it's the first time I found it, so really happy I did. I saw this movie when it first came out on DVD, and I think I remember liking it pretty well, and I watched it again last night, and I really liked it on a second watch. So we'll be talking about this movie today, the cast, production, critical reception, my thoughts on the film, where you can watch it, and all that jazz. So I hope you stick around. Welcome to all my new followers. As of the recording of this video, I am at 290 subscribers, hoping to break that 300 subscriber mark this week. So if you have friends or family that you think would like this kind of content, consider sharing my channel with them. I always like to meet new movie people too, so don't be afraid to leave comments and things like that. So today we're talking about The Babadook. This is a psychological horror film, heavy on the psychological, from 2014. This movie's almost 10 years old, believe it or not. That makes me feel like the last 10 years has really gone by quickly. This was directed by somebody named Jennifer Kent, who also did a movie called The Nightingale, which I have not seen. I believe this and The Nightingale are her only two big theatrical movies, but she did do a short of this movie before. I think it was called Monster, which was so well received that she got an offer to do this full-length version of it. So this movie stars Essie Davis, who was in the first two Matrix sequels, as well as The Murmuring, which you might remember as an episode from Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. This also stars Noah Wiseman, his only feature film. Daniel Henshaw, who was in the Ghost in the Shell live-action film, and he's been in a lot of other movies I wasn't familiar with. And this also stars a person named Haley McElhinney, who was in a lot of TV shows. But it's mostly centered on the first two people I mentioned, Essie Davis and Noah Wiseman, who are the main actors in this film. The synopsis of this film is: a single mother plagued by the violent death of her husband battles with her son's fear of a monster lurking in the house, but soon discovers a sinister presence all around her. This movie, as I mentioned, is based on the Jennifer Kent's 2005 short film, The Monster. Kent began writing the screenplay in 2009, intending to explore parenting, grief, and the fear of madness. And she does that very well in this movie. Financing was secured through the Australian government grants and partly through crowdfunding. The monster in the movie, the Babadook, and the special effects were created with non-stop stop motion animation and practical effects. So if you are a fan of practical effects, this movie will not disappoint you. And the monster in it is really scary. I'm not gonna lie, like, it's really creepy. In terms of the film's influences, Jennifer Kent cited The Thing from 1982, Halloween from 1978, Les Yeux Sans Visage, The Eyes Without a Face from 1960, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974, Carnival of Souls from 1962, The Shinnen from 1980, as well as Vampire from 1932, Nosferatu from 1922, and Let the Right One In from 2008, one of my personal favorites. So yes, a lot of cool inspirations for this film, and you can definitely see some of those come through in this film. Like, I was definitely, oh yeah, that's from The Thing. Oh yeah, that's from, The Shining, like things like that. So really cool. I like it. I'm not a big fan of like people just copying things out of other movies, but if you can kind of see like, oh, that's definitely referencing that other movie, I kind of like that, because you kind of feel like, oh, okay, I'm catching on. I'm learning things. The film was primarily shot in Adelaide, South Australia, with most of the interior shots filmed on a soundstage in that city as well. Jennifer Kent originally wanted the film solely to be in black and white, as she wanted to create a heightened feel that is still believable. The film's final color scheme was achieved without her use of gels on the camera lenses or any alterations during the post-filming stage. Interestingly enough, and it was kind of cool to learn this, and I was definitely mindful of this when I was watching it, but Kent cited filmmakers David Lynch and Roman Polanski as key influences during the filming stage. So there's definitely now I could be reading this just my own. I don't know if this was, I didn't actually find this in my research, but just in relation to David Lynch, there's a lot of scenes that anyone out there who's seen the movie Lost Highway, especially the opening sequences where they're in that apartment, Bill Pullman and what's her name, Arquette, I think. There's a lot of scenes where they kind of like they're walking along and then they disappear into blackness, or they come out of blackness, and that style is really scary and really kind of like it's disturbing to watch almost. And I noticed in this film that Jennifer Kent does a lot of that, where it's like something coming out of just blackness where the rest of the room is like brighter, if that makes any sense. It's almost like half the room is bright and half the room is dark, and the monster comes out of the dark and stuff like that. And I definitely was wondering if maybe that was a nod to Lost Highway, because it's definitely the kind of vibes I was getting. The critical reception for this film, this currently holds a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that's based on quite a few reviews, so this movie is fairly well regarded. I thought this was also interesting in my research. In November of 2014, William Friedkin, director of The Exorcist, stated on his Twitter profile, quote, "Psycho, Alien, Diabolique, and now the Babadook," unquote. Friedkin also added, quote, "I've never seen a more terrifying film. It will scare the hell out of you as it did me," unquote. So those are pretty big words, and those are pretty big movies. Like if you compare this to Psycho and Alien, I haven't seen Diabolique, but if you're thinking, and this is coming from the director of The Exorcist, probably one of the scariest damn movies ever made, and disturbing, those are big words. So if I was Jennifer Kent, I probably would have been like, very giddy after seeing that. But my thoughts on this film, yeah, this movie is real creepy. The monster done in that stop motion, practical effects style. There's a scene, especially I think it's towards the end, where the creature's coming through the kitchen, and it kind of goes by some light, like it's under a light, and then it goes into darkness, and then you're waiting for it to come back into the light. Like, I had shivers watching that. It was so scary. There's a pop-up book which the character Babadook appears in. This book appears mysteriously in the lives of these two main characters, and the little boy says, "Can you read this book to me, Mom?" And she's like, "What is this book?" And she starts to read it. There's no credits or like writing at the back of the book. There's nothing about the publisher. It's just like this random red book with this creature on the front. And then it's a pop-up book. And I won't give it away, but towards the end, the poppy-uppy parts start to do some pretty disturbing things. So it was really well done, really spooky. The kid is so, this is also, a commentary on being a single mother and like your kid doing creepy stuff. And I remember when my kid, when he was little, he would have those night terrors, and like, not to the extreme of this movie, but I can definitely say from experience that it is talking about being a parent and dealing with your kid, and like sometimes you just get to the end of the rope sometimes, and you don't want to be thinking things, but you are. And it's all this commentary on that stuff, and it's done so well. This kid is so damn annoying, but also so damn terrified of the Babadook that you want him to stop talking and you want him to stop having nightmares, but you also feel really bad for him through the movie, because it's like the mom obviously doesn't believe him, and so he's just really terrified. And some of this, it's really, really scary. So if you're looking for a good modern movie that's actually really scary, I would recommend this movie. I would give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was a little slow at times, but generally speaking, minor nitpick. This was a really good movie. And, you know, I like a lot of modern horror movies. I'm not excited for the new Exorcist movie, but when I think of this or Hereditary or The Witch or Mandy or Smile, like there's been a lot of really cool original horror movies coming out. And that's the stuff that gets me fired up. Not so much, you know, Halloween and Scream and this Exorcist coming up, but like these kinds of movies with their original stories and they're fresh, even if they're making a lot of references to previous movies, as long as it's something original, I'm all in if it's well done. What was that other one? I forget that other one where there's like a basement apartment. You can leave it in the comments. Um, I recently watched Infinity Pool from Brandon Cronenberg. That was really creepy. Like, I like those kinds of ones for sure. Getting a little burned out on the legacy things, but this one, like I said, if you're looking for something fresh-ish, I mean, it's 10 years old now, but if you've never seen it, it will probably feel pretty fresh. Spooky, cool. The effects are really good. The music's really good. There's a lot of creepy sound effects in it. The acting's really good. The mom looks so exhausted. She can't sleep because the boy's having nightmares. The boy is really convincing. You know, child actors can go one way or the other. This little boy is like very convincing in the role, and at times the expressions on his face when he is seeing the monster, you're just like, it's like, you know, it's like Danny in The Shining, you know, seeing the little girls. It's like you get those kind of vibes for sure. So highly recommend this movie. Very cool. This is your pretty bare bones DVD from the year 2013. This is 94 minutes. Pretty good. Pretty good. This is rated 14 in Canada for frightening scenes and disturbing content, and rated 13 in Quebec. This is a Region 1 DVD. It's got English 5.1 Dolby Digital, widescreen 16:9 aspect ratio. The special features are creating the book with illustrator Alex Jahaz, a tour of the house set, the stunts, jumping the stairs, special effects, the stabbing scene, behind the scenes, cast and crew interviews. I have not. I'm going to go back and rewatch, or I should say, watch some of the special features because I am kind of curious about the artwork and the book and stuff like that because I like to draw too, and I find that stuff kind of cool. But Stephen King says deeply disturbing and highly recommended. Noel Murray of the Los Angeles Times says one of the scariest horror movies in recent years. So check this one out. You can currently rent this on Cineplex and Apple TV. And I feel like you could probably find this in the $5 dump bin at Walmart around Halloween. I've been looking for this one for a while, so I don't know, you'd think you'd be able to find it fairly easy, but this is the first time I've seen the DVD in like a couple years of thrifting. So, but yeah, this is a really, really good movie. You know, and it's got that single mom with the child kind of vibe there, and it kind of, some of the tone kind of reminded me a bit of Hereditary, you know, the tension between the family members and things like that. So if you like that kind of thing. But yeah, highly recommend this one. Very spooky. William Friedkin and Stephen King also recommend this movie. So I'm not crazy. This was actually pretty good and pretty scary. So check it out. Those are my thoughts on The Babadook. Did you see this movie? Did you like this movie? Did you not like this movie? I would also recommend going out and checking out the short film Monster, which is on YouTube, I believe. It's only about 5 minutes long, but it's kind of like came before this, and it kind of gives you an idea. Not as scary as this movie, but it's definitely a cool little short horror film if you want to check that out. It's just called Monster by Jennifer Kent from 2005. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this film if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Consider giving me the thumbs up if you like this kind of content or this review. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Follow me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video. And until next time, I will see you at the thrift store or at the video store or just out and about somewhere. But until then, just look under your bed before you go to sleep because, you know, you never know. The Babadook might be waiting for you. I hope not, but just in case. Until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.